10 fears truck drivers face during a commercial vehicle inspection. Ever wondered what goes through a truck driver's mind when they see those dreaded lights flashing at a commercial vehicle inspection station? It's like a scene out of Smokey and the Bandit. Only this time, there's no charming Burt Reynolds to talk his way out of it. We're talking about the real deal, the nitty-gritty of DOT inspections, and the cold sweat they induce in even the most seasoned truckers. Join me as I dive into the top 10 fears of a truck driver during a DOT inspection. From paperwork violations to mechanical issues, these are the things that keep truckers up at night. Paperwork violations. Now you might think, paperwork? How bad can it be? Paperwork is the lifeblood of the trucking industry. It's the difference between a clean inspection and a bureaucratic nightmare. We're talking logbooks, medical certificates, permits, you name it. Forget to dot an I or cross a T. And you're looking at fines, delays, and maybe even an out-of-service order. Time is money in the trucking world. Every minute you're stuck at a weigh station is a minute you're not making those miles. You know those little black boxes they put in trucks these days, the ELDs? They track everything. How long you drive, when you sleep, even when you take a break. And let me tell you, those things don't lie. The penalties, hefty fines, potential license suspension, even jail time. Drowsy driving is a real danger on the road. They're following the rules and keeping everyone safe. Vehicle maintenance issues. Imagine this. You're cruising down the highway, wind in your hair, tunes cranked up, when suddenly you see those flashing lights in your rearview mirror. Your heart sinks as you pull over, and the DOT inspector starts circling your rig like a shark. He spots a worn-out tire, a busted taillight, or even worse, a problem with your brakes. Game over, man. See, these inspectors, they don't mess around when it comes to safety, and rightfully so. A truck with faulty brakes is a recipe for disaster, and they're not going to risk it. So, you're looking at an out-of-service order until you get those repairs done. And trust me, those repairs ain't cheap. Not to mention the lost time and income while you're stuck on the sidelines. Load securement violations. Now, hauling freight ain't like stuffing your suitcase. You can't just cram everything in and hope for the best. Those pallets, boxes, whatever you're hauling, they gotta be secured tight, strapped down like a hostage in a ransom video. One good bump in the road, and that unsecured load could turn into a projectile, endangering everyone around you. And let me tell you, the DOT does not take kindly to unsecured loads. We're talking major fines, potential lawsuits if something goes wrong, and a whole lot of paperwork. So, next time you see a trucker meticulously strapping down their cargo, give them a thumbs up. They're not just following the rules, they're taking pride in their work and keeping our roads safe. stay on the road. Driver qualifications. You can't just hop behind the wheel of an 18-wheeler without knowing what you're doing. Those rigs are powerful machines, and they demand respect. That's why the DOT has strict driver qualification requirements. You need the proper licensing, medical certification, and training to even think about hitting the open road. Now, I'm all for giving folks a chance, but when it comes to trucking, experience matters. You got to know how to handle those rigs in all kinds of conditions. Rain, snow, sleet, hail, you name it. So, if you're thinking about a career in trucking, be prepared to put in the work, get the proper training, and earn those stripes. Weight and dimension violations. You ever see those signs on the highway? Warning about weight limits on bridges? Those signs aren't there for decoration, folks. They're there to prevent catastrophic accidents. Truckers have a responsibility to make sure their loads are within legal weight and dimension limits. Overloading your truck puts stress on the vehicle, the roads, and the bridges we all rely on. And trust me, the DOT has scales everywhere. They're just waiting to catch you with your pants down, so to speak. And when they do, you're looking at fines, delays, and maybe even having to offload some of your cargo. So, do yourself a favor, pack light, and stay legal. Hazardous materials violations. We're not talking about your kid's chemistry set here, folks. We're talking about the transportation of dangerous goods, chemicals, explosives, radioactive materials, the kind of stuff that can really ruin your day if it's not handled properly. The DOT has strict regulations in place for a reason. One wrong move, one leaky valve, one misplaced placard, and you're talking about a potential environmental disaster, mass evacuations, the whole 9 yards. So, if you're hauling hazmat, you better know your stuff. You need the proper training, the proper permits, and the proper equipment. This ain't the time to be cutting corners or hoping for the best. Security violations. In this day and age, security is more important than ever. And that goes double for the trucking industry. Truckers are on the front lines, hauling goods across state lines and international borders. That makes them potential targets for terrorism, smuggling, and other nefarious activities. The DOT takes security seriously, and they expect truckers to do the same. That means securing your truck, being aware of your surroundings, and reporting any suspicious activity. It's all about being vigilant and doing your part to keep our country safe. The unknown. You know that feeling you get when you walk into a dark room, not knowing what's lurking in the shadows? That's what it's like for a trucker facing a DOT inspection. You just never know what those inspectors are going to find. It could be something minor, a paperwork error, or a busted tail light, or it could be something major, a mechanical issue that puts your rig out of commission for days. The uncertainty is enough to drive you crazy. You just got to take a deep breath, roll with the punches, and hope for the best. But even when you've done everything right, there's always that nagging fear in the back of your mind. The fear of the unknown. Stay safe. Stay compliant. So, there you have it, folks. The The top 10 fears of a truck driver during a DOT inspection. It's a tough job hauling America's freight, but these men and women keep our economy moving. Share your worst fears and experiences in the comments. And be sure to like and subscribe. Until next time, stay safe out there and keep the shiny side up.